Hey everyone, this is 13 Year here, and today I'm going to do a little something I've never tried before, and this is the story of Daft Punk. And I've been a fan of Daft Punk for a long, long amount of time. I think that people should know the story and what's going on behind the mask and the helmet. So I'll just get right into it. There are two guys who make up Daft Punk, Thomas Baumgartner and Guy-Manuel de Cristo. They're both from France, Paris, France, and they're, musicians, of course. So, let me start from the very beginning. In 1987, and this was long before they decided to start up Daft Punk. So, Guy-Manuel, or known as the Guy Man, and Thomas Baumgartner met while attending boarding school. I think it was Paris, and yeah, they're both French. Paris, and so they became good friends. They had a lot of favorite music. They like classic rock and then all these other genres, which I guess influenced their variety of house music. But that was later years. So them, including another person like Lawrence Brankowitz or something like that, they decided to form a band that combined the elements of indie and punk rock. And they had like 2 gigs, about maybe a half a year's work, and they named their band Darlin'. And they're like getting ready and stuff, and they were doing their gigs. It was so much fun, but unfortunately, one of the people who criticized their work, they said it was a bunch of Daft Punk. Now, Guy-Manuel and Thomas Baumgartner found this kind of an amusing little comment, but their third member didn't really like it all that much, so then they decided to call it quits and Darlin'. So in the early 90s, Thomas was introduced to this new revolutionary thing called house music, which is still pretty popular in France today. It was very popular back then now. So he loved it. He stated in an interview that he loves how much control he has over the music that he's playing. So, no, he tried to fiddle a little bit with it, using his multiple instrumental talents, and he sent a demo to his good friend Guy-Manuel, who was also starting to be interested, and he called this the Funk Ad. Now, Funk Ad is basically a piece of their first song, Da Funk, played backwards for 50 seconds, and that was just that small little demo. And Guy-Manuel was like, "Whoa, this is such an amazing track! We should try this out." So then they formed Daft Punk, and they signed onto a record label and got to know the basics and stuff, but they still weren't robots, robots. So, they started working on their first album, and they called it Homework. And they recorded it in Thomas Baumgartner's bedroom, and they didn't have much of anything to work with. But it didn't really matter, because after they released their first album in I think it was 1996, it became a humongous hit in France, and slowly, as many different resources said, it slowly changed the music of electronica and house, and etc. And they got a lot of fame from that. They got a lot of fame from their first album, and they went on tour a year after that, in 1997, called the Daft and Direct Tour, named after one of their songs, Daft and Direct. It was also called Alive 1997. The album was called that, but the tour was called Daft and Direct Tour. And after that, Thomas Baumgartner was interested in not only music, he was also interested in you know, like directing and acting and stuff. So he and Guy-Manuel decided to create a movie from their newfound fame called DAFT, the story of dogs, androids, firemen, and tomatoes. And this wasn't really a movie per se. It was just a series of music videos that had like 2 or 3 of them had like some sort of connection, but not really. It's probably one of the least known of their movies. And then shortly after that, Thomas Baumgartner decided to do some work with another group called Stardust. Now, Thomas Baumgartner had did many solo works on his own before, and even during Daft Punk years. And he worked with DJ Falcon for a band named Together. Then he worked with a band named Stardust. Stardust released their first album in 1998. Thomas Baumgartner produced it and helped work on it. And it was primarily known mostly for its song, The Music Sounds Better With You, which was awarded as being one of the best house songs in the millennium. Which, I mean, you would think that, like, oh my gosh, that's such a prestigious award, but house hasn't been around all that long. So, they decided, okay, we're not sure if we want to produce this, I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. So something happened that made them not want to produce the album anymore. So they decided to quit, and the song still leaked out, and it was a huge hit. It's like gigantic hit throughout all clubs. It was playing every club, and it was like that one song that you have to play your club, or else no one would want to go to your club. Like, it'd be on like 7 times on the request list. It's that popular of a song. I mean, well, obviously it wasn't popular in mainstream society, but you know what I mean, right? But next was the Discovery era, and this was my favorite era. This is like Daft Punk's golden years. So I'll say that for part 2, and I hope you enjoyed the story of Daft Punk.